Holden Samuels in the gate, riding out of Salt Lake City. This man has become known for ginormous backflips on the Freeride World Tour. He's going to find something huge and send it off there. This is his second season on the tour. He's already holding on to a second place for this season, and Holden is on the venue.
Also dropping in from start one on his toe side edge, which is a bit of an advantage to really dig that in as you hit across that exposure, carrying as much speed as he can, catching a little bit of air time there, and then lining up this feature.
Yeah, Holden getting on top of this blade and opting in for the Marion Erti couloir and blasting out through there. So interesting, you know, in terms of line choice there. It's nice riding, but he's it looks like he's lining something up higher. There is this wind lip. Is he going to have enough speed not to get an air? Oh, but he's turning and choosing that as a cliff. A great line option there from Holden. Managing that negative takeoff really well, and backside three there, getting straight into a hillside turn, looking pretty solid. Yeah, that was extremely creative line choice from Holden as he's now moving through this flatter section. The Wiltsy Loader, 500 meters of vertical, but it does offer a little bit of a respite, a little bit of a break in this middle section where it benches out before the riders get back into the action. And Holden right into it here above this big exposure on top of the gully. Lining up one of these little bobbles here, catching quite a lot of air, and lacing some turns through, lining up another cliff here. Yeah, Holden chipping that one off. This is smart riding from Holden Samuels. The snow in this lower section, extremely challenging. It's rock hard with just a skiff of powder on top. So if you do see the riders slowing down in that section, there's good reason for it. If you go in there fast, you are not going to be able to control your speed coming out of it. So a smart riding there as Holden navigates that lower mountain creek coming out of the exit of the Wiltsy Loader. And another clean run from the snowboard men. So far, so good in this category. This is going to get the rest of the riders fired up that they're managing to make it through, that everyone's been a little bit worried about the snow conditions, and Holden and Jonathan have just showed us that it is very much doable. All right, well, we take a look back here at Holden Samuels airing into the couloir. Riding through so beautifully, and then finding his first airs over on the eastern aspect of the Wiltsy Loader face. Yeah, you can see on the judges bar the line score a little bit lower, and that could be a bit of a result of opting to not hit any features on that upper section and ride out that couloir instead, but then making up for it down here, tweaking out that method. Love to see it. You can see here how his board's bouncing around in that challenging snow at the bottom. Yeah, I think we'll see a few riders taking it easy in this bottom section from the channel downwards today. Yeah, that is a veteran performance from the young Salt Lake City rider, growing up, of course, at Big Sky Resort in Montana. As Holden eyes on the screen there, the riders do have access to a screen where they can see the scores drop. So Holden now anxious moments to beat Jonathan Penfield. He needs 85, 67, 73, 67 for Holden Samuels as he moves into second place in the Fieberbrunn Pro.
10 seconds.
Some last thoughts there from the Salt Lake City rider. Holden Samuels riding under the stars and stripes and ready to go as Holden Samuels kicks things off for run number 2 here at the Fieberbrunn Pro. This is another man who could have a very strong say in that hot seat if things go his way. He's so strong on the board and going right into the exposure at the top.
Riding through on his toe side edge. Bit of an advantage in this section. Spinning 360 and lacing some turns.
Yeah, I think the Goofy Foot riders appreciate these rare moments where it's an advantage for them as he comes down and lets go off the Heusel Cliff onto the hillside edge, holding on, battling for balance, and then getting out into that powder. Now he's got to cross this debris field on the toe side edge and managing it easily, popping that wind lip and finding perfect transition.
Yeah, he's got a lot of features to play with out here on the looker's right side, catching some serious air time there. A few wiggles in this run that have really had me on the edge of my seat.
And another one crossing the debris under the eagle to get over to this glorious powder field that has very few tracks in it. Now he's got to line up wide if he's going to make it to the jump section here, which he is approaching on his heel side edge.
Big backy, brings it round looking super relaxed.
Beautiful backflip, almost a trademark at this point for Holden Samuels. Now coming into this low section, front three. Oh, just a little short. I think he didn't quite have the speed he thought he did, and that one has a really aggressive upslope on the takeoff.
But he's not done yet. Lining up this one here. Dropping in, finding the transition, and just working those bobbles.
Yeah, just making his way. You can see the roller balls have been shedding off the Viltzi-Loader. The temperature spiking through the day. We've got full sun right now, and that is definitely warming things up. We were 2 degrees earlier in the day. Definitely well warmer than that right now, as Holden Samuels making the last couple turns to cross under the arch. As you said, Anna, that was an adventurous run. A lot of really good moves, but a few moments that had our hearts in our throats. All right, let's take a look back at this run from Holden. I love this approach. Super aggressive off the corner of the housel.
And there on his heel side, he looks a bit sketchy, but manages to hold it together. We can see the control bar a little bit red there. And then this was perfectly stomped. And then moving down to this section, he runs this one out with speed. So a great run from Holden Samuels. A few control issues. I don't know if that's going to be contending with the man in the hot seat, Victor Delarue.
Well, just doing it once again, time after time, as we see Holden just looking back up at the face, kind of going through the line. You know, you review it, you rewind it in your mind, and kind of re-look at all the things that went into it. As the score coming up, it's a 67 flat for Holden Samuels. That's going to put him into 6th place in the Fieberbrunn